Hey everybody, Mature Simmer here. So welcome back to NASCAR 2025 with Walker Air Transport. So as you can see, we do have a plane with a livery. So I have been trying for the better part of 2 hours to get things going. I thought I was actually in good shape. I think I was, and then realized I better make sure that this isn't something they have a livery for in 2024, and it was. So I tried this first with the in-game 737 MAX 8 and ran into several annoyances and some ultimate problems that just allowed me to not continue. So annoyances were basically you couldn't see the radios and whatever. It turns out the brightness knobs have to be way up to be able to actually see things, but more importantly, the transponder could not change at all. Like, you can't enter a number. You're able to do it like when the co-pilot puts it in from ATC, but I couldn't call ATC from this airport. It just let me call ground for taxi, so the whole thing was a mess. And after like an hour, I was kind of muddling through and gave up. Then I got into the Phoenix and things didn't look right. Alright, so since I have popped in to the plane, or since I've been on the outside of the plane and now popped in, this has had to be reset, I don't know, 7 or 8 times. Because again, I couldn't come into the plane. Like, after I had that Walker paint, I thought maybe it was the livery. Took the livery out. Still didn't work in the base plane. So, yeah, there's some growing pains, certainly, it appears, with the system. So let's get ourselves to 3022. I'm going to do everything I can at this point to take off and do whatever, and probably just live without whatever's happening. We are now at about 3.5 hours for me trying to get off the ground here. It's just so insanely frustrating. All right. So we're good there. I should then be able to get things going here. Let's see. We need to do the init request. That should pull things. All right, our cost index off our SimBrief plan is 5. We're going to be at flight level 360. Because, yeah, it actually, like, all the in and out, Walker actually, like, recorded that I flew the flight. I'm sure I'm going to have a thing in the logbook that, like, it was a disaster or something. I don't know. But it basically got rid of my bid. So I had to rebid, all of that. It's always good. Like, the winds help get things organized a little bit. But we are going to try to get this thing off the ground. So one of the things, to some degree, given all the challenges I've shared with you, and hopefully I'll edit all this together in a coherent way, A330 Driver is a YouTuber that I really enjoy, especially about Airbus things. But really, he's excellent on almost everything. He's a real-world pilot, which I am not. And so there are definitely things he can do and run circles around anybody like me who doesn't do that. For example, he'll go through the checklists because he does them in real life, and he'll just, this off, that off, this, that, and he'll be through it in literally like 30 seconds for the, let's say the landing checklist or whatever, making sure flaps down, this, that, whatever. And maybe one of these days after flight simming, I'll do that. But I think the reality is, like a real pilot, some of it is like if I'm always flying an A320, yeah, you can develop that skill probably over a much shorter period of time. But because I tend to jump around between aircraft for some variety, and just because, I don't need them, let's see if I keep getting these errors. Yeah, I mean, nav altimeter, that's fine, that there's discrepancies there. So, let me clear this. But anyway, what I was explaining is he's been reviewing the A350 recently, and there's been some complaints from people, probably just like there would be complaints from many YouTubers who went through what I went through. Oh my god, this plane is terrible. Oh my god, this plane is not ready. And so what he talks about is what pilots like to refer to as fiction, which is what's here, and fact, which is what is out your window. And so his viewpoint, and I came to realize when he articulated this in a recent A350 video, and saying, hey, I don't have as much of an issue with this plane as a lot of people do, and here is why, I realized, yeah, we're kind of kindred spirits there and very similar in thought, because his thought is, just as in the real world, like if a system fails on the plane and you're in the air, like as a pilot, if the fact in your window is you land and you don't crash and everything works, then you have been successful. You don't suddenly feel, oh my gosh, the plane is horrendous, like things will happen. And so his view is, okay, if I can work around a problem I'm having in my instruments, simply by flying the plane in some cases, and yes, my autopilot's acting weird, I'm going to have to hand fly the plane, and while that is maybe irritating and annoying, I was still able to hand fly the plane. So as long as that is possible, everything is good, and you don't have to get upset about it. I mean, you can, and you can say, I'm never going to load this plane again because it's awful. And yes, at this point, I think I've reloaded even this Phoenix, probably not 10 times, but probably 7 or 8 times. And it takes a little bit of time, and it's faster in a Msfs 24, but it's not perfect, certainly. So, in any event, let me see if we can get a few things going here. I should be able to use GSX. Alright, we'll go ahead and we'll request catering service. We'll see how messy this is. Select, we'll go with Gate Gourmet. And again, if it stops working or whatever, like I can pull out. You know, I probably will pull out, because I don't necessarily need to push, but I may go ahead and try that. So in any event, what's dismiss? What's going on on the panel? Oh, okay, what's over here? It's on this panel. I don't know why it's acting. I see. Alright. Here comes the catering truck. Is my auto FPS and all that? Oh, it also failed, it looks like. Ay, ay, ay. So yeah, things just died. So that should help with some of that, but yeah, I don't know. Probably because I shut it down, I think it automatically shuts down and then doesn't restart. Say Intentions is doing okay. I may do my flight recorder and do some things. I don't know. We'll see. But at this point, we'll see if things start to stabilize in a bit. But yeah, we've got the land of jitters. So let's go down to our panel here and try to get everything set. So I want to go to the flight plan. Alright, so it's waiting for me to open. No, the doors are opening. Okay. Because it does say waiting for you to open. Alright, well it did say one rear. Okay, so now it's going. I'm like, did it not pick that up? Alright, so we'll go here. Oops. Yeah, flight plan. Why is it not? Oh, departure. Didn't hit one additional key. So let me go back here. So we're going down Mucky, Mucky 3, and Mucky. So no other additional transition. And then Goodyear is going to be RNAV 03. It does have, whoops, no, it's not no star. Shoot. I think I can fix that. It's Sunset, SSO, Sunset, SSO. Okay, what I'm looking for is there should be a Potter on the RNAV. Alright, well let me insert this. See if I can. Alright, RNAV 3. Maybe it's the VIA. Yeah, okay. VIA Potter. Insert. Okay. So that will do that. And then we want to go direct payday or PAYDA. We'll insert that. Now that turns green. And then we just look through the rest. SSO item. Alright, and let's see if I go direct. Oops. So now I return. So this becomes a bit of a challenge here. Let's see. It won't let me clear that. Will it let me clear? Yes. Okay. And then insert. Now will it let me clear that? Yes. Okay. Because I'm like, I know at certain points we can do that, and we can kind of bring everything together. So we have the wind, we have the cost index. In theory, it should figure most of this out. It is not, so what am I missing? It's not these, I know that. Okay, I need flaps, I think 1. Then I can... It's been a bit, so I do apologize. Alright, catering service is complete. They are leaving in a stuttery manner. But then that means I can do the more important refueling. And then we need what type or what amount of fuel here? We're going to need 18,562 pounds. Yeah, eventually this seems to do okay, but we'll see. Okay. So I think I need to go up. Actually, I need to go the other way, I think. Yeah, that's the alternative. Hold on. Now I'm confused. Okay, where is... It's interesting because it's like, yeah, I've lost the initial plane, but anyway, alright, so I think we're gonna need to be at 4,000 is what they put me in at. You can use load aircraft. Oh. Alright. So I think I see. Load aircraft. So we'll do GSX boarding and refueling. So it should hopefully just do what it needs. Alright, boarding requested. Okay, so they're doing that. They're obviously going to bring the stairs in eventually. And all should hopefully be good. Hoping the stuttering is less in what you're seeing. Not much, but at least my preview. But sometimes when I render it, it seems to work nicer. So, alright, so we have that. Let me go get my, what do I need for clearance? I need 125.5. What did it say? I can use... Alright, we're sending it to MCDU. Okay, it says no on that. We'll figure that out later. Alright, boarding passengers. Alright, we do have stairs, so that's good. You can now use load aircraft. Okay, but it's doing that in theory. What I'm not seeing... Okay, so there is a fuel truck, so hopefully that will change at some point. Cargo fuel... Yeah, planned in tanks, 6543, but planned is accurate for what I want. Yes, 15,563. So it says it should handle that. I hope it will. Alright. So yes, all the dots are there. That's what I want. My autopilot, my flight directors are on. So I think we're in decent shape. I'm going to want to set, again, flaps to 1. We're going to want the spoilers on. And what was it? 125.5, I think. For clearance, yep. So we're going to dial that in. 0.5. 125. We're going to move that over. Oh, not, oops, shoot. It's not 0.05, it's 0.5. Alright, passengers finally getting on. Alright, let's see. Whoop. Little tricky there. Alright, should be good. Austin clearance, Walker 4021 requesting IFR to Phoenix-Goodyear. Alright, we're gonna...
1 second while I grab the paperwork.
Alright, we'll give you a break there. And hopefully this works. Oh, come on.
Walker 4021, cleared to Phoenix-Goodyear via the Mucky 3 departure. Then as filed. Climb and maintain 4,000. Expect flight level 360 minutes after departure. Departure on 125.325, squawk 3265. Expect runway 36 left.
How is this not... Come on. The Phoenix doesn't work either? Because this was the problem I had. I couldn't type anything Cleared to Phoenix Goodyear via the Mucky 3 departure, then is filed. Climb and maintain 4000. Expect flight level 36010 minutes after departure. Departure on 125.325, squawk 3265. Expect runway 36 left. So I'm guessing whatever is causing this in 2024, it's still present. Because, yeah, we're not able, I think, to get clearance.
Good afternoon, United 510.
Initial contact, you have information, Juliet. Austin Bergstrom International Airport. Information, Juliet. 1253 Zulu. Wind 345 at 5. Visibility 10. Sky conditions.
Okay, so the thing is, we're tuning it, but I can't get a clearance. Because it won't let me send one. Like, if I pick ground services, I can pick things. But this won't let me pick things. So it's frustrating. Yeah, it's not giving me any other choices.
Clear.
See?
Temperature 1.
Because I can go back to there. So it's like Austin doesn't have ATC in the game or something. So it's just odd. So again, I'm not going to stop, you know, because of it, but... Aha. 3. I wonder if that's the problem. You have to hit the clear button twice. So, the almighty internet sometimes helps. So, 3, 2, 6, 5. Alright, and we are... Okay. So, we're on... And we are sending, so say intentions can see us. So that's good. Oh, wow. Fun stuff. Alright. So, still fueling in theory. Hopefully it has increased. It has not. So this is not helpful. Yeah, so I can't load again because it's telling me I can use load aircraft, but I can't. So let's see, airframe, GSX. I don't have weight for refuel or any of that. You know, we can do some stuff. I've normally done it. So yeah, the people are loading. Like, that is changing. Oh, that did change. Well, but it just ran down.
Requesting IFR clearance to McCarran, Las Vegas.
I'll have your clearance in just a second. Also clear citation Alpha Tango Hotel. Copy. Clear to San Antonio via Bendia Free departure. Climb and maintain 8000. Departure is on 127.225 and squawk 2214.
Alright, so I'm unable.
With information here, ready to copy us to Los Angeles.
Unable to get the fuel. That won't be enough fuel, so that will be a problem. So let's see. Reset all. Okay, plan pounds. Okay, so passengers, we're gonna have whatever. Fuel, we need 18,600. So we're gonna apply And we're just going to do instant. Okay. And we're going to send MCDU. Like I said, we work around it if we have to. So it is what it is. So at this point, I'm assuming he'll leave and get out of here, and we'll be able to push back. So we shall see what happens there. Obviously, they've got to close everything up. So they've got the doors closed, but everybody's got to pull away. And then we'll be ready to depart. And so we should... Yeah, we want to exit that way, so we're going to want to push our tail to the left. But, we're all set there. So, at least, again, the Phoenix allowed us some ways to do some stuff. Right. So we have that. So yeah, the only issue is, of course, now it's giving me a different runway because things have changed. So it's telling me 36 left. So let's see. Change to 36 left. It's still going to let us use Mucky. So, oh boy, can I change my runway? Interesting. Okay, it is correct there. Well, maybe we'll just leave it. Oh goodness, come on, is it really? Alright. Ground services. Aft cargo, forward cargo. Like, it's really gonna load all this stuff now? So yeah, I kinda messed it up. So I'm assuming these will be relatively quick here. So the rear one's going in, back one's going in. I just don't understand the boarding. But at least these load up nice and quick this way, because we've just got everything in those containers. But yeah, because I reset everything, it just basically went to... Although I said I didn't want GSX to do anything, so I don't quite understand. But there we go, 50% loaded. I just don't know what it's going to do with the boarding passengers. Alright, baggage loading 100%. So I suppose the other problem I may have is I may need to open the doors. So let's see if that changes anything. Alright, so boarding complete. Okay, so now it wants to close 2 left. I assume it has to close 1 left. We'll close the cargo bays. There we go. Alright. So again, fact and fiction, as a 330 driver says. Not the smoothest thing, but, you know, it's working out. They're pulling away. They're coming in to give us pushback. And we'll get rid of chocks and cones so that we don't have any problem there. And then we should be able to start things up shortly. So let's see. Yeah, I think we're in takeoff config. Whoop, no, something's off. Maybe because we don't have the engines running. APU bleed.
Austin, clearance delivery, Walker 1946, requesting IFR JFK.
1 second while I grab the paperwork.
Alright. So APU bleed is on, because we're going to need that.
Then is filed. I'm going to maintain 3,000. Expect flight level 33010 minutes after departure.
Okay.
Departure is on 125.325.
Got our pumps on.
1313. Expecting runway 36 right. Walker 1946.
Alright, going left.
Austin, clearance delivery, American 2865, IFR to Charlotte with information Victor.
Okay, parking brakes are off. Alright, we are rolling. Alright, so we should be able to ignition start. And then we'll start to spool up, I think. Turn 2 on and hopefully everything will work. Yeah, we're waiting for, so was missing the N number down there in N2, but there we go. Now there's some fuel flow. Set the parking brake back, that comes back on. Alright, and then we'll start 2, or start 1 I should say. Alright, things are starting up so we can have them disconnect. So we're going to confirm good engine start. Right. Should be able to go there. Alright, pack 1. I don't know why we have faults. But there we go, we have those. And now we should have, if the generators are good, so we should be able to turn the APU bleed off. And the APU master switch off. And we're in good shape. So they're walking out there to get the pin. Flight directors are on. So I think we're all set. So let's go to ground at 121.9.
American 501, ready to pick an IFR clearance to Monterrey, Mexico with information Victor. We cleared to Monterrey via 7 departure, then on file we can maintain 4,000 initially with expect flight level 260 10 minutes after departure frequency 1.
Alright, flipping to ground. Austin ground, Walker 4021, ready for taxi.
Walker 4021, Austin ground, taxi to runway 36 left via Charlie 2, Charlie.
Taxi to runway 36 left via Charlie 2, Charlie. Walker 4021. Alright. Let's get this show on the road, finally, hopefully. Let's see. That's Alpha 2. Where's Charlie 2? Because now I'm a little bit lost as to where I need to go. So I guess the solution is look at the map of the airport. Let's see where we're at and where we need to go. Alright. 36. There is no Charlie. Oh, I see. Charlie 2 is behind me. So I should have gone the other way. Alright. So we'll do a quick turnaround. Not quite sure why it's frustrated with me. Oh, why do I have toga on? It says toga, but clearly I don't want toga, so let's not have toga. Alright. So, we don't need to go this fast, but yeah, at this point I've been talking for so long, I'm like losing my voice. Because I've been talking and had to restart. But that was what I was confused about, so yeah, I actually pushed back the wrong way is what ended up happening. So, and yes, Charlie 2 is straight out that way. Where's our ground speed? 17. So yeah, I do enjoy the Airbuses. May do more with them. I certainly will be using the A350 at some point. Just not sure, you know, what will translate or, you know, what will make the channel versus me just using it. Alright, we're on 21. Want to slow down here. Because we've got to make a turn, so we don't want to be in bad shape there. Alright, flaps are where they should be. I think we can increase our thrust a bit. And then we just go straight down Charlie, all the way down to 36 left.
Follow the Falcon, then turn right onto taxiway Juliet. Following the Falcon, turning right onto Juliet Gulfstream, 671 Golf Sierra.
One second while I grab the paperwork.
Cleared to midway via the LOL departure, then as file, climb and maintain 4,000. Expect flight level 37010 minutes after departure. Departure on 125-325. Swak 6374.
Right.
Expect runway 18.
Getting
left,
aligned here.
Southwest 9858.
Southwest 9858, read back
shall get a little more line there. 25. Oh boy. I don't know what is going on, but there's clearly some delay here, which is not good. Alright. I mean, it's responding. I can see the rudder pedals moving, so it's responding reasonably quickly to what I'm doing. I mean, the issue is the Phoenix is not a low frame rate airplane. I mean, it was a handful in 2020, so we shall see. So there's actually a helipad down here. It says helipad 3 at the end of this taxiway. All right, well, we're now in danger of exceeding 30, so we definitely don't want to do that. So hopefully we'll be able to actually execute this flight. It would be very disappointing if we get to this point and something just totally screws up. I crash, I do something nuts. That would hurt. I do want to make sure that I'm being tracked. It's saying I'm taxiing, so I assume I'm being tracked. So that is a good thing. Again, we're going to start slowing down here. All right. So you would hope, because it should find me and know that I'm approaching the runway, but sometimes it does not. So we shall see how everything plays out. I mean, we've got a little ways to go, obviously, but it's definitely not quite where I need it, but we may need to switch and configure some stuff.
Learjet 333, Lima Juliet, cleared across runway 21, contact apron on 131.2.
I was hoping it was calling me.
Contacting apron on 131.2. Learjet 333, Lima Juliet.
Alright, there's our hold short point. Don't think it's gonna know we're there. But we're gonna get ourselves there. Be done. Alright, so we need strobe on, put beacon on auto. Whoops. It is just not cooperating. Alright, fine, we'll do it on. Get these on. Get the nose to take off. Should be all set with everything else because it is daytime. Alright. So tower is 121. So it does not have us there. So we will have to dial that in. Obviously it takes a bit, especially when we're all the way at 500. Let's see, will the shift go? No, it really doesn't. Doesn't change the speed. So let me pop over here. Flip that over. Austin Tower, Walker 4021, holding short, runway 36 left.
Walker 4021, Austin Tower, runway 36 left, winds 345 at 5. RNAV payday cleared for takeoff.
Runway 36 left, cleared for takeoff. Walker 4021. Alright, let's just make sure. Okay, no error for takeoff configs, so that's good. So let's get ourselves there. And we should be good. So everything has dots. It might take a little bit once we're airborne to, again, kind of get everything set, but hopefully not too bad. Gonna get ourselves lined up. Alright, we'll get the auto throttle engaged.
Skyhawk 542 Alpha X-ray holds short of runway 25 traffic on final.
Holding short of runway 25, Skyhawk 542 Alpha X-ray.
Diesel Loco 467 taxi to parking via Alpha, remain this frequency.
Alright, should be good. Pull up. Positive rate. Gear up.
467. Welcome to Austin. Contact ground on 121.9er.
Alright, gears going up. And got autopilot on. And hopefully everything will go as expected. Let me get the lever to climb. So, what am I missing here? Oh, climb. A little bit further back. There we go. Alright, so it should have engaged auto throttle, which it does. Alright. Contact departure, Walker 4021. Now that should auto-tune that for me. Departure... well, did not. Departure's 119. So, all of this is not helping. Alright, we are struggling here. Fun stuff. Walker 4021, Austin departure. Alright, let me get myself aligned here. We've got to get ourselves
Walker 4021, Austin departure, radar contact. Cleared direct payday, climb and maintain flight level 220.
Clear direct payday. Climb and maintain flight level 220.
Left heading 165, descend and maintain 5,000. Vector 5, left 365 approach. American 3342.
American 3342, turn right heading 205.
Right heading 205, American 3342.
American 3342, heading 205, acknowledged.
Alright. 220. Alright, let me turn this off. Alright, and then we need to get the lever to climb again. What is happening now? Ugh. So, not sure if the autopilot is acting up or what is going on.
American 3342, turn right heading 205.
Right heading 205, American 3342.
Alright, I need to pull up my
American 3342,
nav
turn
map
right
and
heading
see
205, acknowledged.
where I need to go. Alright, so I need to get to 270 here.
Delta 1721, maintain 170 knots to McGee. 170 to McGee, Delta 1721.
I need to leave
Walker
the
4021,
lever.
climb and maintain flight level 240.
Climb and maintain flight level 240, Walker 4021.
American 3342, turn right heading 205, acknowledged. Please confirm heading 165 for vectors to the ILS runway, 36 left approach.
Alright, so let's see if it can... Maybe I somehow lost that. But let's see if this will do better. Man, it just keeps flaking out. It just really does not want to autopilot. I don't know why. Alright, so let me... Where can I go direct to? I can go direct, payday, insert. It just keeps disconnecting. It does not like something. Do I have my... Yes, my flaps are up. Alright. I really would prefer not to fly this manually, but I am not starting this stupid thing over again. It's just not gonna happen. But I don't know if there's too much happening. I believe I'm in climb, am I not? Yes.
Walker 4021, climb and maintain flight level 280.
Climb and maintain flight level 280, Walker 4021. Alright, let's see if we can do this with the 2000. I hope it doesn't break off again. Okay, 2000 V-speed, what are we doing? Let's see if we can do this. It's staying on autopilot, which is a good thing. Although, It just made a very weird sound again. I mean, the auto throttle's doing its thing. I'm assuming that's not me.
Turn right heading 165 vectors for the visual runway 36 left approach.
Mooney 56 Alpha Bravo, right to the VOR, descend to 4,000. Right to the VOR, descending to 4,056 Alpha Bravo.
I'm going to lower the climb to 1500 because it seems to be having difficulty. With the speed here, because that will take off the autopilot. Okay, I'm wondering if I have something. I don't know. It's like check altimeter. Alright, there we go. So that's better, I guess. The QNH changed or something. It's like, I don't want the thrust levers to move.
Climb and maintain flight level 330.
Climb and maintain flight level 330, Walker 4021. I mean, this really should not be a problem. But man, this is struggling. I mean, I'm just wondering if I do this and get myself to go.
Walker 4021, contact Houston Center on 126.425.
Because now at least we're speeding up. Contact Houston Center 126.425, Walker 4021. Alright, this time it did it. Houston Center, Walker 4021 with you, flight level 180, heading to flight level 330.
Walker 4021, Houston Center, good morning, Lago Vista altimeter 30.27.
Alright, let's see what it does now. Now, in theory, if I put this back into climb, it should do what it needs. And so it should drop this down appropriately and climb slower. Alright, why is this not... There we go. It's always like a center on these. I don't understand why, but... See, and again, it's like... It's in theory targeting that.
4021, Houston Center, climb and maintain flight level 360.
Climb and maintain flight level 360, Walker 4021. You know, and again, I don't have to be going super fast, so that's okay. As long as it falls back and doesn't start to stall out on me. Which is the problem that it had. Alright, so... I don't know, okay, cross-check the altimeters, so maybe... I see.
FedEx 687, heavy descend and maintain flight level 260.
Hot air on then off.
Descending to flight level 260.
Where does
FedEx
it have this?
Heavy.
Hot air. Did that do anything? When duct temperature... No, hot air on and off.
Houston Center, Southern Tier 221.
Alright.
Morning, climbing through.
So that took care of that, whatever that was. So at least we got rid of these. But yeah, flying the plane was more important than worrying about the air conditioning. Alright, I'm just happy we're off. Let me make sure, like, goodness gracious, if somehow the recording was messed up. But no, looks like you're getting data, looks like you're seeing progress. So everything should be good, hopefully. So, again, fact, fiction. So, perfect example of exactly what A330 driver was talking about. Just figure it out. Like, you know, you kind of understand the basics of the plane, or you should. I mean, obviously, as you're learning an aircraft, you've got to learn things. But I've flown Airbuses before, so it's not as if, you know, things aren't happening. So let's see, is there a message? It's giving me a company message, but... and it might just be because there's, whoops, there's other things on the window. Landing gear? Oh, the landing light can go off.
Houston Center, Southern Tier 221, morning, climbing through flight level 200 to reach flight level 300.
Southern Tier 221, Houston Center, climb and maintain flight level 380.
Alright, so now why? Well, you know what, I think we want to fully retract them, not just turn them off, because that helps with
flight level 380.
With the aerodynamics. Alright, so landing light is off, and I remember this goofy one that I had before, but because it's like wind shear off or something. I don't remember that one. So I may look this one up. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to the weather panel, it says, underneath the radio, which should be here, and then where's the weather panel? Whoops. Turn that to normal. Oh yeah, I was supposed to, I think, hit those buttons. Funny me.
American 467, maintain.
So yeah, it's just warning me that protective wind shear is off.
American 467.
But somewhere it should.
Going to flight level 233.
Let's see if they have a.
Sorry, correction, flight level 330. That's the 123. Houston Center, please be advised. JetBlue 123 is now 18 miles south of waypoint Foxtrot Oscar Romeo Sierra Sierra.
JetBlue 123, roger.
Alright, so let's see. 7, 8, 4, 5, 6. So it should be here somewhere. And someone did say it was turned off, but I am not seeing PWS anywhere. Go to your weather radar panel and switch PWS to auto. Let's see. It's kind of showing it. Whoops. Definitely don't want it off. I don't understand why I can't see this. It says right under the center radio console, and I'm swearing it's kind of showing it right about here. Alright, there it is. Holy moly. Alright. That was a long way to go. Alright, well, we're still not at cruise. Getting close. Just checking my walker tracker. Yes, it's showing climb. So thank goodness, because, oh, I would be in tears if somehow that was not working. So let's get a look outside here. Alright, at least we can move around a little bit. I was like, the stutter's kind of better, but it's debatable. Alright. And then the company message. I just feel like now that we have this long flight, I'd just like to clear things. So, in theory, it's down here somewhere. So let's see. Data, MCDU. Whoops. AOC menu. Receive messages. Alright. Hopefully that will remove that. No, it did not. FedEx
687 heavy, descend and maintain flight level 260. Descending to flight level 260, FedEx 687 heavy.
Alright, so we are getting close here. Alright, so in theory, what everyone's telling me is exactly what I did. ATC button, AOC menu, receive messages. Do I have to, like, I see, we have to show them all? Well, let's see, do I have to... Does it say viewed if I just look at them? It does, alright. So in theory, now it should be gone, and it is. Alright. So that's the trick there. Alright, we have made it to 36,000. Now what I need to do, because I really don't want to fly at Mach 2.2 here, so let's see. We've got 0.75 set manage speed. I don't know why that changed. So that was probably part of my problem. I had lost that as well. So hopefully this will now accelerate. I think we've got the arrow, but the problem is, as high as we are, that's going to be difficult. But it's got to get to 0.75, which is honestly not very far. But I think we're good. I think we've enjoyed enough of our company right now to go a little to have overstayed the welcome, but at this point I think we're good. As we get closer, or if something happens, I will return, but for now I'm gonna step away and just get myself all the way from Texas over to Phoenix. So I will see you in a bit. Hi everybody, Msfs Simmer here. So little down arrow is our top of descent. So you can see we're turning here around Telgi, about 84 nautical miles out, and we will begin descending. So we got a little bit of moving around before we come in on the runway. So I think everything is still going. We're cleared to 17,000 feet a little while back. But we're going to go ahead now and let it begin its descent. And there we go. And you'll see the little dot coming up the chart. So yeah, quick dive because we were a little bit late, but that's kind of normal. So it will flatten out here. You'll start seeing the rate pull up. So I think 1,400, 1,000, or no, that was 3,000. So yeah, it looks like we're at 2,400 or 2,300, but we're already down 2,000 feet. So an Airbus should be a little cleaner than most of the others. It just kind of does its thing, you know, and I think it depends how people want to look at it, but I think someone commented, you know, depending on what you want to do, Boeing...
Delta 1562, expedite descent to flight level 240, traffic ahead.
I think it was like...
Expedite descent to flight level 240, Delta 1562.
Forget it was like...
Skyhawk 563 Alpha Zulu, Albuquerque Center. Good afternoon.
I think it was like Boeing control the airplane, Airbus monitor the airplane. So they kind of make fun of it that, you know, you don't have to fly an Airbus, and so if you want to not flight sim, you fly an Airbus. But I think that's just you know, sour grapes for people once again who don't know what they want to grumble about and so forth. But you know, if the plane is set up and it's designed to do things pretty automatically, that is not a problem. So let me get, I've been having my co-pilot run things. Let me pull that back. I'll go ahead and retake the comms, please.
All right, you're back in charge of the comms.
On a really long flight, I just kind of let her handle the handoffs to ATC and all that was going on. So there was a good amount of that. So we just passed Tucson a little while ago, if you're just trying to understand about where we're at, if you know anything about the lay of the land here. Descend and maintain 8,000, Walker 4021. Alright, and again, we're pretty darn close to 250 already, so should be fine. I don't think, yeah, it looks like we're getting past Potter before we decelerate. You can kind of just see it at the bottom of the screen there. But yeah, it looks like we're about 1,700. You know, and the way this causes a problem is if they suddenly decide they're going to reroute us some other way because, you know, we've descended and all that, but obviously we're a lot higher up than what they expected. But yeah, we've got to make a kind of a sharp southwest turn at this point and then head over to Potter. So, you know, we've got real close to Suns. And, you know, we'll pass that in no time, and then we'll continue on. But this will... It's not going to stop us from gaining miles to the airport, but it's obviously a little bit different than what we have. But, you know, Potter's a long run-in, so that will all work out nicely. And you can see we've got 34 miles to Potter, so in essence that should drop us about 10,000 feet, maybe 11,000 feet, so we should be at, say, 15. So at Potter, yep, 15,193 is what it's targeting, so that is how it's calculating and how it's flying. But yeah, versus the Cessna that doesn't have an auto throttle.
Flight level 370 for 350 report, wind level.
You know, once this runs, it runs pretty nicely.
We'll report level Air Canada 251.
Wings 1, Albuquerque Center. Good afternoon. Got that a long time ago, thank you.
Wow. Clearly a bad call there. That gentleman was, that pilot was a little bit irritated. But yeah, we were at 3004 is what the altimeter is at once we break out in about 5,000 feet. But, you know, we're down almost 13,000 feet already from cruise, so we already come down a couple miles. It's crazy when you think about things in that regard. So but yeah, so we have the Phoenix, we have the A350. I think I've got some of the Any-Builds planes as well, but I don't know that they work in 2024. So I think that gives us a few other options for... Actually, I think I saw them in the menu, so... But... The problem with those versions of the Any-Builds is I don't think they're as robust as others. Not again that I need study level like the Phoenix is typically considered, but the A350 kind of had a higher bar and obviously then a slightly higher price tag where it was, you know, $70 or something all told. So it's right up there with the PMG. But it is such a big plane. You know, I mean, I think it's right up there with the 777 that we also do have from PMDG. But like I said, while we're waiting for the PMDG to get into 2024, it's nice to have something we can fly. Now, I think we'll be back in the Cessna for a little bit, but again, probably heading back, if we can, heading back to Miami. I'd probably like to do this. It's just I'm not sure we're going to have the runway to do it. Because that is our long flight and our catch-up here. But yeah, at this point, I think this would become my plane in 2024 until further notice for anything that requires a traditional airliner. So, alright, so again, about 15 at Potter. Getting to transition altitude here. But Potter's still, you know, 10 miles away, so I'm guessing we're around those mountains there before we're doing anything, and then we're heading back to the south or northwest at that point. So I don't know that it's a full 90-degree turn, but it's good.
4 miles opposite direction.
All right, 3004. So that's gonna, I think, lower us. Yep. So there we go. So just changing the altimeter changed our result. So obviously that higher pressure was there. Oh, nav barometer discrepancy. So basically I need to turn this one off too, is what it's telling me. And we'll get this one down to 3004 so that the co-pilot can see what's happening as well. Alright. Yeah, it kind of remembers a few things as far as key presses and all that, so. Alright, not quite at Potter. About 3 miles, but we're just passing 16,000. Again, we're cleared to 8. We obviously haven't gotten any other calls, so we're going to go to Higney, and then turn a bit, Tatui, Ripoy, and Pedby, and then we're down. But we're still 32 miles away, as you can see.
Walker 4021, contact Luke approach on 125.45.
Contact approach 125.45, Walker 4021. Alright, so I assume it will give us more details. Luke approach, Walker 4021 with you. Flight level 145, descending. We're not really technically flight level. We're below 18,000.
Walker
so
4021, expect the RNAV runway 3 approach into Goodyear.
Expect RNAV runway 3, Walker 4021. That is what we were expecting.
Luke approach, good afternoon. Goodyear altimeter 29.904. Expect the RNAV runway 3 approach into Goodyear.
Okay. We shouldn't have to acknowledge that. Alright. Whoops, 2994. Have to get the other one in as well, so that everything aligns. Alright. Alright, so our, no, that's not our deceleration. I think the orange circle is our deceleration. But we'll get down to what? Well, not really decelerating much. Limits 250, but yeah, 244 is what it'll put us at about 11,600. So yeah, it's definitely there.
Contact Albuquerque approach on 120.9er.
Albuquerque approach 120.9er, Walker 4021. Albuquerque approach, Walker 4021 with you at 11,300, descending to 8,000.
Walker 4021, Albuquerque approach, good afternoon. Goodyear altimeter 29.904.
United 540 traffic alert at your 3 o'clock, 5 miles, same altitude. Advise when in sight.
Looking for the traffic, United 540.
Cessna 82, Charlie Bravo, turn left, heading 120, cleared ILS 6.
So I think it's eventually going to try to get to 132.
19.2, good day.
Alright, so to Higney,
November 3, Mike Papa, contact departure.
it says we're going to be at 5,000, but obviously maybe it's 8,162 or 9,000. But yeah, now we should be slowing down to 225. Alright. So did it say descend via? Because I don't know that we really would. So the RNAV, so it's locking in. Now it'll slow down, which is good. Because that will get us where we need, and then we'll make that turn. But then we should be going substantially slower. Thinking we're heading down to the 200, because that's what we'd like at Tatooine. Tatooine? I don't know. But again, that is... yeah, we're not...
Walker 4021, Albuquerque approach, contact Luke, approach on 125.45.
Contact Luke approach 12545. Luke approach, Walker 4021, 8,000 feet descending. Alright, so we want more drag. So we're going to put the speed brake
Good
full.
afternoon, Goodyear altimeter 30.00.
This altimeter changing is a little nuts. I don't understand. I don't know exactly how that works, but it seems a bit much. Okay, well, I want more drag, but I'm at full drag here. So, okay, we can't arm spoilers. So, I think the problem is... so, approach nav. Alright, so we are going to lower flaps. Probably a little fast.
Walker 4021, proceed direct Tatooine. Descend and maintain 4,000, altimeter 30.00 until established. Cleared for the RNAV, runway 3 approach.
Cleared for RNAV 3, Walker 4021.
Velocity 0 Tango Bravo, turn left heading 225.
Left heading 225, velocity 010 Tango Bravo.
Walker 4021, contact Goodyear Tower on 120.1.
Contact Tower 120.1. Going a little quick. Didn't come in nicely. Goodyear Tower, Walker 4021, approaching runway 3.
Walker 4021, Goodyear Tower, wind 060 at 8. Runway 3 cleared to land.
Runway 3 cleared to land. Alright. So, I'm not sure that I want to do this, but we're gonna. Alright. This might be too fast.
Pull up. Pull up.
40, 30, 20, retard.
Come on. Alright, we're gonna go around.
20,
Don't
retard.
sink.
Pitch, pitch.
Alright. We're gonna try this again, because, yeah, that was a lot. So, let's see. We're gonna go to 4,000. We're gonna change the heading. Let's see. Alright. So, we're gonna go there. And we're gonna try this again. Let's see, where are we at? I need to get the V speed. Alright, so we were coming in at 3, so basically I need to be at 210 if I have it correct, I think, is what I will want to be to come back. But yeah, that thing was... that did not bring me in well. I'm gonna blame Say Intentions on that one. Because it had me way too high.
Foxtrot Delta cleared for immediate takeoff, runway 33.
Cleared for immediate takeoff, runway 33 Mooney, 824 Foxtrot
So,
Delta.
I'm going to pull out the RNAV now while we're looking at it.
After the option, make a left turn out to depart the pattern to the west towards Buckeye.
Yeah, because at Tatooine we were supposed to be at 4,000. And I think we were at like 8. And this is really the missed approach. They have you go out and come back to Tatooine a little straighter. Alright, let's see. Oh, I gotta get the speed brake off. Alright. We're gonna arm the spoilers. And then... whoop, whoop, whoop. There we go. That should fall back and the auto throttle should work. Alright. Good news is we have enough fuel. Brakes. Parking brake on. What? I must have bumped that somehow. I probably hit that instead of disengaging the autopilot. Okay, ground spoilers are armed. So yeah, we're gonna go and kind of take the time. So again, I think I'll get myself at about 208. I'm like, what is it doing? Because it's not doing something right. Alright. So, you can see where Tatooine is. Doesn't look like we're going at the right angle, but we are. Okay. So we kind of need to go by and then circle around at that point. I do have my wheels down still, which is probably not the best, but it's fine. This is excruciatingly slow. Alright, I'm gonna pick the wheels up because we really don't need them till about 5 miles out, and that will lower the drag. So that will allow the engines to spool down a bit, as you can see. Alright, so it's going to be a little bit more manual here. So 210 is going to take me to about 120, and then that'll take me, to 30. There we go.
Diamond Tree 71 Bravo Charlie, make a right turn heading 180 traffic at your 9 o'clock, 1 mile altitude, 1500 feet.
Right turn to 180, looking for traffic. Diamond Tree 71 Bravo Charlie.
Walker 4021 has go around.
Going to 121.7, TBM 722 Tango Bravo. Good day.
Walker 4021, landing clearance canceled. Execute missed approach procedure. Contact departure on 125.45.
Walker 4021 requesting clearance to land. Alright. Just paying a little bit more attention.
Walker 4021, turn right heading 230 vectors for the RNAV runway 3 approach. Walker 4021, 3 miles from Tatooine. Maintain heading 085 until established. Cleared for the RNAV runway 3 approach.
Cleared for RNAV 3. Maintain 4,000 until established. Alright, let's see what we've got. Alright, so we are gonna go... We're gonna drop down a bit to, say, 2,000. You know what, we're gonna drop down to maybe
2,500.
where it looks like we're on the RNAV, but I'm not sure that we are. So we're gonna flatten out at 2,500. And now we're gonna...
Walker 4021, wind 060 at 8, runway 3 cleared to land.
Runway 3 cleared to land. Alright, where is the runway? I'm not liking this. I'm not sure I'm heading where I need to be. Alright,
Warrior 371 Bravo, Charlie, enter right base runway 27.
Right base runway 27 for Warrior 371 Bravo Charlie.
okay, there it is. There it is. So we are now... Alright, alright, I turned it off manually, so... Alright, we'll get flaps full. Auto throttle off. And now at least we feel like maybe we have a shot at this. Before we were like falling like a stone. It was ridiculous. Now I'm going to do max brake. This is still a little steeper than I would have liked.
Pull up. Pull up.
50.
Come on.
40. 30. 20. Retard.
That was kind of ugly. I don't think it's going to count. I think it's too hard. That's bad. Man, it's the problem with this airport. Yeah, it's going to be too hard. Wow, really? I have to do this again?
Walker 4021, welcome to Goodyear. Contact ground on 121.7.
So yeah, I mean, we landed, but it was hard. So we got that. Let's see. My guess is it will not work. So we shall see. I'm going to go take a quick look, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Because I'm thinking it's going to be rejected. Maybe not. You know what? In Walker, we might be able to go to 850. So I'm thinking maybe that may be why. Let me check real quick.
Diamond 371 Bravo, Charlie, traffic is a Cessna on a 2-mile final caution wake turbulence.
Acknowledge Diamond 371 Bravo Charlie.
So let's see. Okay, softer than 800 feet. So, alright. I got lucky, so I kind of ended sooner than I should have, because I was frustrated, like, I lost it. But we are okay. So, we did make it. This did count. So, welcome to Phoenix, and I don't recall it being that short of a runway, so that is the thing that was a bit odd. So if I go look, let me just, again, cover some of that. It's an 8,500 foot runway. I mean, it's not super long. And maybe it's because of the way it was marked. Like, I might have needed to really just kind of land where I could have. Now let me see. North Las Vegas. That's the problem. Yeah, see, North Las Vegas is only 5,000. So I'm going to have to see if I can do a short takeoff. Because Miami will be fine, but, you know, heading to Miami, I don't think we can make it in a Cessna. I mean, it's 1,900 miles. I'm almost certain we can't make it in the Cessna CJ4. But our next leg will be a short 217 mile from Goodyear up to Vegas. So that will not be very far. And then, you know, we head back, and then we don't really have a super long leg again until we're heading down to Mexico in another 10 weeks or something like that. So we got lucky, because I typically am targeting like 550, because I think that's what most of the VAs do, but Walker's a little bit more able. The good thing was, and I guess it was good to see how that worked, with max brake we stopped very, very quickly. So even though we landed, I mean, if we go back here, and you know, we're here at the end of the runway, yes, at the end of 21. You know, we had a little bit more we could have gone, but I don't know that we landed earlier than there, and we were able to stop and vacate in that short period. So, but the problem was, yeah, I was still far too high. If I look at the chart, I mean, really, I should have been at 1880 at Pedve, which is 3 miles out, and I think I was above 2,000 feet. So, yeah, there was definitely a lot there. And again, the touchdown zone's 954 feet for the height, so, you know.
Cleared for takeoff, runway tree 2, Bonanza 64 Foxtrot Alpha 2.
But in any event, we made it down. If you haven't dropped a like or are not a subscriber, please consider that. Forgot to ask about that earlier. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I certainly have, although it was a bit of fun having to do the go-around, but that was better than having to redo a 775 nautical mile flight, which I felt I almost had to do anyway. So, but luckily, it took it. Yeah, it did have some other one. I wonder if I can delete that. Because, yeah, it's showing a rejected of 2,933 feet. It took 5 minutes or whatever, but I think that was the one that well, at some point it just said, hey, you didn't do it, and I'm not sure when, but in any event, we'll see how things go in the future. Keep trying to catch up. I may get the other flight done sometime this evening. I don't know that I'm going to do it at this point in the middle of the day, but if I can set myself up to do that Miami leg tomorrow, which is on the weekend, that would be really good. And at this point, I think my real option is the Phoenix, because otherwise I just can't use even say intentions, which we've been using, because if I can't get a working transponder, that's not very helpful. But I suppose I could try the 737. I don't know. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the Airbus other than if it just won't start up with instruments. But hopefully that's a thing of the past now that we've gotten a flight done. But I'll see you next time.